Welcome to Bill and Rob's An Excellent Adventure. I'm Bill Tilley.
And I am Rob Schulte, and Bill Graham's back with us. Hey, Graham.
I wouldn't leave. So
No.
I'm still here. I've been waiting for you to show up in the studio. And
Something is stuck to my shoe. What is it? Oh, it's Graham Young.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks of just every once in a while, I click the link and I can still see him sitting in the chair, just waiting for us to come back.
Ready for us.
Nah, we love Graham. He wouldn't do that to Graham.
Exactly. Bill, as the listeners might like to know this, that an episode of Pumpkin Spice Podcast that will be coming out after this episode, we just recorded yesterday, and we're ready to talk China. We're ready to talk China O'Brien.
Good deal.
But
more importantly, Cynthia Rothrock. But
yes,
before I digress. Let's go ahead and get into it. Get into the meat of it.
Something that came up in that conversation, though, Graham, that I wanted to talk about before is today's beta versus VHS. Has there been anywhere to land on the discs? Like, what discs do you think people need to collect? UHD, Blu-ray? Like, what do we do?
We've talked about what the deciding factor in that is, right?
Pornography.
Yes, and it was that way with Betamax and VHS in the early 80s, and then when it was Blu-ray or HD DVD. For anyone who had an Xbox back in the day, probably remembers that, because good old PlayStation got the Blu-ray. That was a good choice. Yeah. But I guess you can tell where I stand on that battle. But, as far as, like, we were kind of talking about collecting Blu-rays on our previous episode, and I think 4K is kind of the standard. There's no like competing. There's not a competitor with 4K, is there?
But isn't there 4K disc and then also a Blu-ray? Like the 4K is the quality. I get that, but like there's two types of discs, right? There's a Blu-ray, and then there's like HD DVD, right?
Yeah, the Blu-ray would probably have your special features, or it may have the film as well. For people that don't have 4K and go ahead and buy the Blu-ray 4K, so when they upgrade, they can do that whenever. The thing, and Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, on 4K, it's all region-free.
I believe it is. I don't think they found a way to region lock it because of the nature of it. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, I know that Blu-ray is upward compatible. 4K players can play everything down. Of course, you can't play everything up. But
yes.
I think that's a big part of it, because a lot of these overseas distributors are making these 4K movies and releasing them of things that they haven't been out for the longest time, too.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the big culprit there is Arrow Video out of UK. I mean, just incredible. And the fact that they're region free means the folks here in America can enjoy them too.
Right.
Yeah, or at least easier, right?
Yes.
Okay. So time will tell if both of these, because obviously we know porn chose streaming. So we don't know the discs, what's going on. But I have a Blu-ray player, so I'm going to stick with Blu-ray for now, because I can rip those and then save a copy on my hard drive. Now, guys, somber news. At the time of this recording, we found out Carl Weathers passed away. Should we just go around and just say some Carl Weathers movies we enjoyed real quick before we get into today's episode?
Well, they're the two big ones. The
Predator.
The Predator and the Rocky films, but he was a very versatile actor. You look at his work in Arrested Development; he was absolutely hilarious. So he had a lot of range there.
Yeah, he really did. Bill, is there anything that jumps out to you? I mean, we covered Predator, of course, but
we did. One of my fond thoughts of Carl is always his role in Happy Gilmore, because that was like the first time I got to see him kind of do real comedy, and that was a pleasant change from always played the cool tough guy, and it was great to watch, but it was nice to see him stretch out and do some comedy stuff in there. And I very much liked his turn recently in The Mandalorian. I thought he was a real fun character got a lot of gravitas in a franchise that desperately needed some. He brought it to it. So that was nice to see that too.
Yeah, all of those totally. And then I noticed when I was looking at IMDb that like he did voices in Mortal Kombat X, which was kind of cool. And I love when a big actor does voice acting for a video game. I think, I don't remember which character it was off the top of my head. I hope it was Reptile, but more about that later in today's episode. But like,
yes.
he directed some episodes of Mandalorian, Law and Order, The Last OG. Like he was. Here's the thing, though. He also directed 8 episodes of Silk Stockings, which I know we'll get to later, and 1 episode of Renegade.
Of course.
And Rob Adler, that's where you throw in just the sting from the Renegade theme song.
That's the one where the guy had the duster jacket, right?
Yes, at least for
Lorenzo
when he didn't
Lamas?
have when he wasn't wearing like a beige vest or got bonked on the head with a bullet and then just had a bandage there. Carl Weathers directed season 4 episode 9 titled Studs, which the description of that episode is Reno goes undercover as an escort when Bobby's former fiancée is blackmailed by the escort agency. God, I loved these shows.
Nice.
Bill got me the Renegade pilot movie, essentially, on VHS for Christmas, and that was
fantastic.
amazing. Yeah.
Nice little wall hanger. And I will say, I have decided that there's a movie that Carl did that I've been looking for a reason to watch, and when my next turn comes around in honor of him, I'm going to work that into that series one way or the other.
Alrighty. Do you want to tell us that movie now? Or
We're going to watch Action Jackson.
I was going to ask because that's the
yeah.
one film that no one had brought up. So yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, Bill, you want to tell us about today's episode?
I can indeed. Would you like me to do that by reading the back of the box?
Wow, yes. China O'Brien, 1990. Wait, I almost said 1999, but no, 1990. No. Very important, 1990.
And I think it's very important to point out that this movie was filmed in the late 80s, so it still abides by 1980s action movie rules, even though first year of the 90s. But here we go. The back of the box, which I have stolen from Rob's salt mine bunker. I snuck out to his house. I went down. So when you go through the alphabetical pile, Rob, you'll know why it's missing. Lori China O'Brien, Cynthia Rothrock, is a young city cop. Blonde, misspelled on the cover, missing its E.
Oh, no.
I like to point that out. Beautiful, but with a deadly mastery of the martial arts. One night, she is forced to kill to defend herself. She swears she will never use her violent skills again, turns in her badge, and goes back to her hometown, also misspelled on the cover. But home isn't like what it used to be. Corruption is everywhere. When her father is murdered, China avenges his death in the most explosive showdown ever.
Wow. Well, let me tell you, I found a copy of this film on the internet, or not in the Internet Movie Database, like archive.org. Like,
that's where I watched it.
It is a tough one to get a hold of, and even more tough, China O'Brien 2, which I wanted to watch after this, but I digress on that. Bill, I gotta know, before we get into our segments, when did you discover China O'Brien or Cynthia Rothrock?
So I discovered China O'Brien's backwards from a movie called Rage of Honor. And I discovered that movie because I was a longtime Dukes of Hazzard memorabilia collector, and I was buying movies with other cast members where they would show up. So she is friends with Catherine Bach, who played Daisy Duke. In fact, Cynthia is in one of the Dukes of Hazzard reunion movies.
Oh, wow.
So I bought the VHS of Rage and Honor, and I watched it. And that was my first chance to see her on full screen. And it was amazing. So after that, you just start backtracking her stuff. But it was difficult even back in those days because a lot of those VHS tapes and stuff were hard to find.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of the VHS I noticed, especially like there was a British fellow doing a review of these movies. They used a body double on the front, but yeah, I had never heard this, but I do. I'm familiar with the small town that for some reason everyone knows mixed martial arts genre, and I love it. Graham, were you familiar with China O'Brien?
I was familiar with Cynthia Rothrock, and I'm actually kind of embarrassed to say that this is my first film.
This
from
is
her. So
no, do not be embarrassed. This is a learning moment for all of us.
This
it's
is
same for me.
This is a safe space for first films. Always has been, always will be.
Yes, it is the same for me. I've never seen this. I don't think I've seen a Cynthia Rothrock movie, but she's damn familiar, so you never know. Bill, should we get into the patented segments?
Absolutely. I think we should launch into our patented first segment where we find some fun facts about the movie we watched, which for this movie, I have dubbed this section, Tai Quan, You Believe It? I know. Gold, right?
I love that because dough looks like do, and do would rhyme with you, but I love a good stretch, which you should do before Taekwondo, right?
And we point out, Cynthia, master of multiple martial arts, so she lends all the martial arts to puns. It's great.
And she calls her shots. She does. A great pool player. She tells you exactly what she's going to do to you, and then she does it.
And I think old Dan Savage would like that as well. Going to tell you what I'm going to do, then I'm going to do it, and then we're going to talk about it. Bill, can I start?
Absolutely.
Okay. I love that this movie was shot back to back with the sequel, which we'll need to find time for. I discussed how it's a difficult one to find, but I need to now see it. It must be done. And, you know, people talk about The Lord of the Rings as like this brilliant series of films that was like, it was a plan. We're shooting them all in order. But it had been done before, and no one brings up China O'Brien in any of those conversations.
This was Cynthia's breakout role into America that the studio was putting behind it. So they pulled a Superman on this one, and they just said, "We'll just shoot the other one right after this one because we've got gold here, everybody. Gold, Jerry."
I love it. What do you got, Bill?
So you mentioned earlier about the body double on the artwork. There's multiple versions of the poster and the VHS cover for some of this. And Cynthia complained a lot about it, especially the artwork that's drawn, the drawn poster of the thing, because she said that's not her. She is short and more muscular by being a martial arts practicer. And she was very upset about this because she said that woman on the cover just looks like a Barbie doll and not happy at all that was too feminine up or Hollywood feminine standards. So I thought that was great that somebody could complain that, no, you've made me look too quote unquote good. Yeah. I want to look like I could kick ass more than that. And I thought that was especially funny because on the drawn poster, there is her and there's Richard Norton, who plays her best friend / sort of love interest in there. And also Keith Cook, who plays a character called Dakota. And he must have been less picky because on that poster, he has two hands and one wrist has the block with a spike on it where you don't know what it's for. But in the movie, he has only one hand and a spike hand. Yeah. Due to circumstances I'm sure we'll get into. So I thought that was great that he's like, I have a problem with it. Yeah. This is awesome. And the only reason that the whole thing existed in the first place was because he was on a luge with Cynthia Rothrock before filming started and broke his hand. And they didn't know what to do with it. So we're just going to put a stick on it and you just got a stick hand.
You've got stick hand.
Yeah.
But why not? But what a way to just keep rolling with it. You know, if this movie had a bigger budget, they would wait 6 months, right? And waste more money because you must have a hand in this film.
The joy of it is, since they shot him back to back, it's a year after in China O'Brien 2, and he's still got the stick hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Graham, do you have any fun facts?
I have a couple. Speaking of Matt, did you all recognize Richard Norton as the prime? Sorry, he's the prime imperator in Fury Road.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not, which is kind of cool.
I got to say, I've never seen a Mad Max film.
Oh, man, that'd be a great series.
Oh, well, maybe later this year. Or maybe it's already cooking in the books.
Maybe maybe there's a section on our movie list of post-apocalyptic movies and knockoffs we could pull from. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
That is awesome. You recognize his face and a lot of that. I know he's in Mortal Kombat. No, that's Keith Cook that was in Mortal Kombat.
But
yes.
taking one of my things. I'll get to it.
Is it?
I was gonna say we could just dive into that right now.
No, we gotta stick to the structure.
Just cut that out, Rob.
No, leave it in. This is the raw shit.
But I know Richard Norton is in a movie that I haven't seen that I want to watch that could make our list someday. He's in Jim Cotta.
Jim Cotta.
Jim Cotta is fun.
Graham, didn't we watch that at Liberty Hall?
Yes.
Like in the main, Graham and I both used to work for an old movie theater, and for a brief period of time, we convinced the cinema manager to let us like watch whatever movie we wanted after hours in this like old theater. And then someone spilt a beer once, and they're like, "Never again."
It was one person messes up and everyone gets punished kind of deal.
Which you get. I mean, but this was also like the zoo, this place. There was a lot of people, quote, in charge, but only a few people in charge. And so the inmates
had the keys. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
That's why when we do Bill and Rob's and Graham Fest, the theater will have a tile floor.
It's true. And plastic over everything.
Absolutely.
Well, the other thing I had for this fun fact section is when Cynthia Rothrock rides a car down the street to promote her character's run for sheriff in the parade scene. That scene was filmed during an actual parade in Utah, and no one was alerted to this. And the local radio station actually reported her fictional run for sheriff as fact.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. It's an amazing scene when it pops into because this movie's got no real budget. And I looked right at the screen and went, what parade did they Shanghai for this to happen? They know that they didn't put this on.
And there was just like someone waiting in an alleyway, and then they run out and they're like, hey, one sec. And then the car rolled out.
Yeah.
And it just happened, and I love that. And this is like a Cynthia Rothrock version of like Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, right? Instead of people jumping out of buildings, they're just like, and Cynthia Rothrock is running for sheriff, or I guess someone named China O'Brien.
Yeah. Because nobody knew her at the time, and the sign says China O'Brien. So here's a small, petite, blonde woman in a white Chrysler LeBaron convertible with a hand-drawn sign that says China O'Brien for sheriff in late 80s Utah.
Yeah. Well, Bill, what's your other Taekwon You Believe It?
So when Cynthia hands in her gun and her badge at the beginning of the movie and heads home, you've got the standard leaving town sequence, driving away into the sunset along what I assume is the Pacific Coast Highway. And even though it's not supposed to be that, but it is. And there's a song playing, and it's called Distant Storm. And it's very, very much a low budget movie song. You're like, it sounds familiar though. Turns out that song was sung by Tori Amos.
Whoa.
This was early apparently in her career where she needed some money, and they came to her for this song, and she said she needed the money, but she did not want to be associated with this movie for whatever reason. She's like, nope, I will not use my own name. So they made up a band called Tess Makes Good. And that's what it's there. And she never released it. It's on no album anywhere. To her, it just doesn't exist. It's only on this movie, and you can only hear what's in the movie. That's it.
Oh my God.
I was
love
hoping that like in her recording studio, she had like a big frame poster. You'd
think.
Brian. It'd be so
you
great.
would think.
This many years later, right? Like embrace it.
Well,
Yeah,
look
like-
how far I've come.
Yeah, exactly.
If they don't make China O'Brien 3, which they should, and she doesn't come back to be like the music teacher, Huey Lewis style and Back to the Future, Tori Amos has missed a golden opportunity. Shame on her.
Absolutely. Well, Graham, did you have any other things that you thought were fun little facts in this film?
Just a quick thing that this is the only movie in which Cynthia Rothrock, I cannot say her name today, broke a bone, and it was her finger. That's the only thing she's ever broken in her career as a action star stunt performer.
Wow.
Which seems incredible, doesn't it? I mean, you guys, this is your like first real exposure. And just from this movie alone, when you watch it, to think that that's it, that's your only injury is crazy.
And she does all of those like wall kicks.
Yeah, she puts it all on the line, and there's a lot of energy. And I don't want to skip into likes, but I liked the idea that all of like, even though the shots could have been trimmed and tightened a little bit, you could tell that everyone involved took martial arts classes, knew what they were doing, and it just made the film pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really did, and everyone loved what they were doing. You could tell. It's kind of like, now, Graham, I know the episode's not out yet, but Night Stalker, like everyone loved what film they were making. You could tell, and it was great. Anyway, Bill, do you have any final thoughts, or should we move to the next segment?
No, I think you guys have picked up on a lot because this is a lot of their Hong Kong movie experience coming to play. And what I've seen from their interviews and stuff, the people that worked in that genre and had gone back and forth, is they were a tight-knit group. They took the risks, they took the chances, but they were all pros and they all knew what they were, but they let it all hang out. And that's probably not to say that they all got hurt a little bit, but to be only your major injury, break a finger on this kind of stuff when they all got popped and slapped every now and then is just phenomenal. It shows in all the fight scenes, which I think is always a plus for these movies when they're made that way, is you can at least enjoy the fight scenes, and they are phenomenal in this movie.
Yeah. What is the title of the likes segment of this?
I called this one, This Roth Rocks.
That's great. I love that.
Who should go? Who should go next, Bill? This is your realm.
Well, I'll go next because it plays into what I just said. One of my biggest likes, Rothrock and Norton. They've been paired a lot, and they are a great pairing. Like they look good on screen together. You can tell there's chemistry between the two. Just having them stand next to each other and watch them do what they do and how they interact, it looks real because they are real friends, and it's totally believable. So they are by far the standout fighters and probably the standout actors of this movie in most ways.
I would
they
agree.
really bring it all. And the backgrounders are fun. The thugs are thugs. And they do a lot. Don't get me wrong. They don't act. They just come in and they do their fighting thing. And there's some crazy stuff that happens later with the students.
Yeah.
But but the chemistry between these two lets you go along with the movie despite its many dialogue and sometimes glaring plot hole problems, which is good. That's the thing. You will make a B movie a little better.
Can you remind me what's Dakota's story in this movie? Who's he looking for again?
Well, he was
That's
looking
a good
for
question.
his mother.
That's right.
And
yes.
he found her, and then she was murdered by the corrupt town goers, and they stepped on his hand, which is the excuse for why his hand's broken.
That one little flashback.
But you don't learn that until 2/3 of the way into the movie. Up until then, he's the ghost. He appears and disappears, and he never says why he's there. And you're just the whole time going, why is Lou Diamond Phillips riding around in the back of this movie? Why didn't he say hi? Oh, it's not him. It's a different guy. But he's got a lot of those vibes, and he's smoky eyes to camera and squints a lot.
Yeah.
And is just crazy. But yeah,
he doesn't grab a fish out of a river, though.
Yeah, and I guess it kind of works, though, because I am watching this movie going, when are they going to tell me who this guy is? I want to know. And that's fun anticipation.
Well, I'll tell you something about Dakota. This is something I liked. Keith Cook, who plays Dakota, as we said, is a great fighter. It is so fun to watch him fight, even with one good hand and one stick hand. I also like that he played Reptile in the first Mortal Kombat movie, and then he also turned around and played Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
He was promoted.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't mean to piss off the Reptile fans, but he was promoted to Sub-Zero.
I mean, Sub-Zero was the character. Well, that's debatable, I guess. There was Raiden, and then some people liked Scorpion but Sub-Zero feels like the Mario of the Mortal Kombat world.
Well, not to get on a tangent, but Sub-Zero is the only character to have a spin-off solo video game.
Yes, that was terrible. That was
truly awful.
So hard to play.
Anyway, they can't all be gyms.
That's true. But we're back to Mortal Kombat 1. So
I will go out and build on your like, Rob, just because the fact that he's got a stick hand makes his fight scenes even more awesome, because somehow he manages to do this without impaling any of his cast members.
Yes.
But that thing's almost like Chekhov's stick hand. Like you're kind of waiting for that moment where he takes one and pushes it through somebody's neck. You never
quite get it. Maybe in part 2 a year later. I don't know.
The only magical part for me about it was he rides a motorcycle, and I cannot for the life of me figure out how he rides a motorcycle with a stick hand.
He latches it in, and apparently does it.
I'm just gonna say he figured it out.
Yeah, he figured it out. Graham, anything you liked that you'd like to point out?
There was a lot of things to like about this film. It was surprisingly engaging, even in some of the more sillier moments. The Posse Comitatus scene towards the end of the movie where she's handing out the badges to everyone. I just went with it, and I just trusted the movie, and I let the movie hold my hand through an hour and 27 minutes of mayhem. And I really enjoyed myself. I'm not going to say it's the best B-picture movie ever, but I had never seen this before, and I really had a great time.
Yeah, I think what you said about just like letting the movie take you there, like that's all it needs to be, right? Like sometimes we don't need Scorsese's silence, right? We just need the movie to push me down the road in a Utah. What am I trying to say? I'm running for mayor. That's all.
What we're trying to say is that Ingmar Bergman and Tommy Wiseau exist on the same tier.
Yes,
that can happen, and that's not a diss to either of them. They are both masters.
Absolutely. I met Tommy Wiseau the other day at LA Comic Con.
That's a great thing to be able to say to someone.
And
I met Tommy Wiseau the other day.
Well, I tried to get a soundbite for the podcast, the LA Comic Con podcast, and they had to vet me through his assistant. Yes, I actually produced this thing. And then he came over and he's like, "What do you need me to say?" And I was like, "Oh, this is just like a little vox pop. Just be like, I'm at LA Comic Con. Enjoy the podcast. I'm Tommy Wiseau. You might know me from my films." He's like, "No, I'm not saying any of that." I was like, "Okay, you can say whatever you want." He's like, "Okay. Hey everyone, this is Tommy Wiseau. I'm at LA Comic Con. Enjoy the podcast." Like, oh, so you just said exactly what I wanted you to say?
No, he didn't say it in the order you told him to say.
Yes,
it,
yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And I will find the audio and play it for you before this episode is done. Bill, what else did you like about China O'Brien, which is the focal point?
We come for action. We get action.
Yeah.
Promise delivered. And there's not a lot of movies that can say that these days, especially. So all the things that we're talking about here, like you said, Graham, the movie takes your hand. If you're Dakota, you take his stick hand.
Yeah.
So grasp that and just be led into the cacophony of violence and beauty that is this movie. It's great. It doesn't skimp. It's not like some of those B movies that show you the alien on the cover and you don't see it till the last 12 seconds, or the 4 minutes of Michael Ironside in Children of the Corn.
You're never gonna let that die.
No, that's such a wasted opportunity. You don't waste an Ironside. You
cannot waste an Ironside.
You do something. Even if he just shows up at the last 4 minutes, the end, and throws a holy fireball at whatever, you do it.
Speaking of holy fireball, I loved the bar brawl. I love any bar brawl in a small town scene in a film. I especially love it in movies like this, where apparently Bubba and Frankie and Johnny also all know mixed martial arts. Just out of nowhere, everyone is fighting as if they are in the dojo, but they are in the drop in. Does that? Yeah. I think it works.
Dojo deuce.
Yes. Especially though when Norton fights. What's his name? I think his official name is Toshishiro Obata, and he was the fight choreographer of this film, and he played Tatsu in the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's assistant.
Great pronunciation, by the way.
I practiced it a lot. So.
You were Google speech.
Yeah.
You said that so much better than the guy in the film in the first bar boy that does the perfect late 80s. We'll call it your "let's prove I'm an idiot" slur moment where he says to China O'Brien, "She's one of those chop suey fighters." I was
yeah.
Groan movie, groan. That was my one real groan movie moment of dialogue.
Yeah, it is. It really shows you the scripting process at the time. But
it is, but it also gives you that thing where you're kind of watching the rest of the movie going, "Oh, I want to see you get yours."
Yeah.
You're my guy. You're my guy that's going to get punched and I'm going to love it.
Well, Graham, did you have any other likes?
Not really, but what I liked a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. Bill, what's up next?
Well, this is where we dig into the movie a little farther and we see if there's anything about it that we disliked. And these things that we've got, I'm calling it karate kick it to the curb. So what could we have done without, or like to see done a little better in China O'Brien? So Graham, why don't you lead off this one?
Well, I don't mean to be like a Roger Corman here, but if it's 1990, I would have tightened this film to about an hour and 15 minutes, hour 12 minutes, hour 10 minutes. And it would have been a double bill, right? Sell one ticket, 2 movies, but you get 2 movies for one. It should have been a double bill and just tighten just a little bit as far as scenes and some of the fighting scenes kind of, there's single shots that drag on, I think just a little bit too much. And those are all things that are easily fixable. You just go back in the editing room and you just play with it a little bit. And so really the only big complaint I have for this is that it could be easily fixed. You just tighten it and then release it as a shorter film on a double bill.
That's a good point, because I think you're right. If you took some of the fight scenes, which are great, but they do have a few that go on long enough that I think if they were shortened, it would add to the badassery of Cynthia and Norton, because they fight some of their opponents for a decent amount of time. And you're like, if they dispatched them a little quicker, it would have added to their on-screen power. So I see your point.
Yeah. Well, Bill, I'll go next. What's going on with this story? Is she a crime fighter? A politician? What is driving? I get the altruism drive that this fictional character has. It's I just want to do good in this world, and you've done a lot of bad, and you killed my dad, and I'm going to take. But you know what? I'm just going to throw both of my dislikes into one category here because they do flow together. Your dad is killed, so you want to take his job, but you don't want to kill anyone but you also want to get revenge. I just want China to go full vigilante, right? Like, I want her to throw caution to the wind, but she wants to do everything by the book, which it's like a middle schooler who hasn't had a life experience but thinks they know how the world works. Like, it's written that way, right? And I feel like it's a little tough to be like, it's like someone hasn't learned, like, yeah, just because you want something a certain way doesn't mean it's going to happen that way. And China, unfortunately, I think the story, the way the timing could have been tightened up, I think the story might have been able to be tightened up a little there too.
Yeah, well, Rob, you've roundhouse kicked into the center of the problem of this movie and has spilled into, I'll just go into one of mine, which is right there with you. The concept is that she's a cop who won't kill, or didn't know she's ever had to kill, who quits and has to fight thugs who win back her hometown by becoming a cop who might have to kill. I mean, the idea that she's been a cop twice and police officers are expected to use deadly force if necessary, but she's not down with that. She doesn't want to do it, but it's counterintuitive to everything that's going on in the movie. That coupled with the fact of, I gotta just say it, a lot of the people in this town kind of morons. There's just the logistics of what their law system and how that actual department works don't match up to anything in human history as making sense. So, and it stands out in your face when those moments come up, because she should be a monk who I'm going to do passive things. I'll never lay a hand, unfortunately, she'd be like Steven Seagal using your stuff against you type thing. And that's not what we want. So yeah, they really should have thought that concept of vengeance and justice out a little more. And if she's not going to use a gun, then she should never have been a cop to start with. Yeah. If she was going to try it in her hometown in the late 80s, I could have tried to get on board with that. You're going to go MacGyver style on this because it's small town. I don't carry a gun. All right, Barney Fife it. I'll go with you that far, but you just left a major metropolitan police station and handed in your gun. No, I'm pretty sure they didn't let you just not go to pistol practice and all that. So they would have been upset by that.
Yeah. It's a weird world. I'm glad that we got to live in it for a little bit. But she could have just been a gumshoe, right? She's not allowed to practice law anymore.
She could have been what she was. She was a karate instructor working downtown on the hard streets. She could have been that. She gives a lesson to the people in the class who are young kids and thugs who want to fight her, and she shows up for it. So
she needs to return home and find herself.
Yeah. Right. If the pivotal moment in the beginning where she has to shoot a youngster, which is what has her turn in her badge. If she had done the same act, but just not used a gun, she'd used her skills and she hurt somebody she didn't mean to hurt, that would have served the same purpose and not been so outlandish that, oh, she's a cop. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. I don't believe that at all.
Oh, but there's so much to believe in, like the amusing moments, Bill. And is there anything, did you have an amusing title for amusing moments?
I did. We're going to talk about our hi-ya points of this movie.
Oh, God.
It's going to be my best work ever, everybody.
Well, best work. You want to go first?
Sure. Absolutely. One of the things they might have tightened up the movie a little bit, like Graham said, is they could cut out some of the slow motion. That would have taken out about 15 minutes of this movie. So China's dad, who we do get to know, which I think is great. He doesn't die immediately in this movie. We get to be with him for a little bit. So
for the longest time, just so you know, I thought China's dad was played by
Fraser's dad.
Yes, John Mahoney.
John Mahoney. Okay, I knew you were going to say that.
I swore up and down that's who it was, but no.
He's got big John Mahoney vibes. Yeah. He really does.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get to know him and his deputy. They're the two straight cops in town. They're straight arrows. They're trying to hold it together. They both get blown up in their cars, but no outside law agency gives a crap. They don't have an issue anywhere with two law officers getting atomized on the same night within 10 minutes of each other, and they're just like, them's the breaks, kids. It's like, what is this? But when China's dad goes up, she's in the house. She's done the whole, I got to go back inside, get the phone. And most times they do the panic run to the car's in flames. Like maybe the explosion's in slow motion or the spin around is in slow motion. We get the longest slow motion run of her out the door screaming, no, Revenge of the Sith style, long run to this car. And she's just losing her mind. And I think it's hilarious that her 60-year-old housekeeper comes out and holds her back from getting closer to the car. I'm like, 30 guys with nunchucks and sticks and spears can't keep you from getting through this gymnasium. But your 60-year-old housekeeper is somehow able to restrain you. She's lucky she didn't kill her. That would have been amazing. But the explosion scene, top notch for insanity.
Graham, what are your amusing moments? Or at least one of them.
The kind of abrupt ending where they, handcuff the bad guy, they're leading him outside, he just gets blasted. And then which is just amazing. And the sound design on that scene is incredible. But then we cut right to the turning in of the badges and the characters being like, let's just discuss this over a beer.
That is so awesome. And Graham, you picked up on a moment that I want to call back one thing that the big bad guy, his name is Summers. He's the bad guy. Think of Roadhouse. He's Patrick Swayze's nemesis in this movie. It's his role he plays. And the lead deputy's played by a guy, his name is Lichtner. And I called him Roadhouse Light and Deputy Mullet. Because they're not intimidating. They're not good. They're not powerful on-screen characters. They're creepy dudes. And the bad guy, the big bad, he holds women in his house and abuses them. That's how we're shorthand to like, this guy's scum. He's got to die. And he dies by the hand of one of his victims who's still in the house. Who just gets loose and shoots him through the window. It is a serious WTF moment at the end of this movie.
I mean,
and
Bill,
the movie almost just stops. It's just like, boom, and then what?
Well, and
then next scene.
It felt like a mistake.
Yes. Can you believe this movie might have a mistake?
Oh my gosh, I thought it was perfect.
But all of this leads into one of my amusing things. Like, I love the idea of like organized crime in a small Utah town. Like, sure, there are organized crime, it happens, right? But like, this is no mafia. These are just some guys that have enough influence that they can like, muscle the two cops that exist or whatever, and they do some nefarious and lecherous things. But then when they're like pushed up against the wall, it's like, get Bill to like strap some explosives together that we got from the construction site, and we're going to take it out that way. There's no intimidation factor from the organized crime. It's just like the bully in the locker room.
You better not.
Yeah.
You want to do some cross promotion? Tell me you don't go get Charles Durning from Night of the Scarecrow. Transplant him in Roadhouse Light. This movie jumps up 10 points in the bad guy factor.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Yeah. Bill, what's your other amusing moment?
So they've got a manpower problem on this whole deal. China's got a problem because all the other deputies crooked. One good one, atomized, spread all over the road with her dad. So she's got Richard Norton. They got to go do some stuff, take down some thugs. And her solution, mind you, is to deputize the football team of the local high school and place these teenage boys straight into the meat grinder in harm's way. They're karate fighting with half samurais, and they're taking on a roadhouse filled with armed thugs with shotguns, and she doesn't give them guns. Like, they don't do it. They just kind of, do the whole hup and head right into the meat grinder. It's like, what are you doing? Did they need to get a slip from their parents before they did this? Did she send them home? Like, sign this up you got to go take out the thugs outside of town. Sure thing, China. No problem.
Yeah. We got to do good for our town.
It's crazy.
Bill, that's exactly like what one of my other ones is. It's like, you're hiring high school students, like 16-year-olds to do this, and like also to guard the voting booth. Because remember, her getting elected as sheriff is a very big plot point in this movie.
Yeah, and I don't even think they got hired. He's like the football coach. I think he just assigned them to this.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yeah,
and they go hang out in the one gym with the one box of votes. Like, this is the crucial box. Nobody gives a shit about the rest of the boxes across the county, but this one box, they got to get their heads handed to them for. It is madness. It's glorious madness, but it's madness altogether.
And I love it. Graham, did you have any other amusing things you wanted to bring up?
Well, I thought it was amusing, but I may be just confused. So this was released through Golden Harvest, but did they also distribute movies in America? Or did they have an American distributor, and then in Hong Kong it was Golden Harvest?
My understanding is this was Golden Harvest's attempt to get Cynthia Rothrock over in America. So they put their studio behind it because they wanted a piece of the martial arts action, and they wanted it to be her.
I gotcha. Okay, now, that makes sense to me now.
And this is the same, and they're the same ones that she worked for them in Hong Kong doing their Hong Kong movie, Shanghai Express, and working with Jackie Chan and Michelle Yeoh and all of those other movies. So they just went, hey, guess what? You're American. We should probably use that.
Yeah. We can do something with that.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. We're making movies here, see? Well, this is wonderful. Bill, should we rate this thing?
Oh, absolutely. We should rate this. But I think we're contractually obligated to rate all these movies, aren't we? I mean, we write it in our Google Notes, so we kind of have to, everybody.
Yes.
But this is where we tell you our feelings about the movie in a number. We call this section 5 Nights for $1. You might remember, if you were in video store days, there might be a little rack by the counter when you go check out. It might say something like 5 nights for $1. You could take a movie, give them $1, keep it 1 night, keep it 5 nights. It's up to you. And we don't rate these movies against any other things, sequels, prequels, other movies. It's simply, you've gone and you've thrown your $1 on the counter. You picked up your VHS copy of China O'Brien and you've walked out the door with it. How many of those 5 nights are you going to hang on to this movie? Wow. And let's go with you, Rob. I pick you to go first.
I am chosen. Mm-hmm. I see you.
I have tapped you on the shoulder, and I'm now beckoning with my fingers. Yes. Come on.
I see you. Here's the thing. We watched The Legend of Billie Jean last episode, which I loved. I'm still not sure I rated it high enough, if I kept it enough days. So maybe we'll have to revisit. China O'Brien, I loved in a different way. You know when it's like you've got a parent that you love, you've got a brother that you love, and you got a partner that you love. You love them all in different ways, but you kind of favor one over the other, right? I don't think China O'Brien is making it many days, but I do think I would watch it for 2. I think I would take this for 2 days because I would just want to rewatch some of the scenes again because I know that I would be like, wait, now what happened there? And I don't want to just like turn it off and be like, oh, gotta go get another movie, because it's engaging enough and fun enough and silly enough and dumb at times enough, but also like compelling enough that I want to watch the movie and I want to like potentially watch it a second time. So I'm going to keep it for 2 nights.
Nice. That's a fair assessment. How about you, Graham? Let's put you up next.
I would say anywhere between 2.5 and 3. I thought this was just a really kind of a solid action adventure martial arts film with a great lead. And when I return the videotape, I'm really hoping that part 2 is there. That you and Rob haven't gotten to it already. And I'm going to grab it real quick before you guys do.
That's great.
That's great.
Bill, it's come to you.
It has indeed. So here's the thing. I get one of these movies. I'm in it for the movie. I know what I'm wanting out of this movie. This is a karate kicking action movie. I want it and I'm here for it. And China O'Brien delivers on it. And you can tell the reason they wanted this movie to exist. Cynthia Rothrock is an accomplished martial artist, she has accomplishments like Chuck Norris has. The fact that she went so long before breaking out into our cinema is criminal. And now I've seen it, and I can tell you right now, I'm going to be in no hurry to take this movie back to the video store.
Ooh.
Now, I'm going to keep this movie 5 days.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
In reality, it's going to be in my possession till I have to take it back. Watching it, I'm probably going to watch it total 3 times.
Yeah.
So I've got a 5-day movie. My viewing days are 3 movies because I'm not going to watch it every night and I'm not going to watch it back to back. But I'm going to pilfer this piece of karate majesty over all the time I have. And I am definitely going to go back and try and find more of her movies when I have to take it back.
Yeah.
So keeping it 5, watching it 3. It is a solid 3 in there. There's no way I'm going to go less than that because this is a great premiere in this kind of genre for her. Not perfect. We've gone over some of those things, but much like you said, Graham, this is a movie that's just going to go, come with me for a while. And I'm going to say, absolutely. I'm going to bow my head. I'm going to take stance 1 and I'm going to kick right into this thing. It's that great of a B movie karate spectacular.
Oh, that's awesome.
And again, that she is not only an incredible athlete, she has the charisma to be a great action adventure martial arts star.
Yeah. We don't compare, but if you look at this kind of movie versus a Barbed Wire with Pamela Anderson Lee with more money and more glitz and whatever, this movie outperforms that. And Cynthia Rothrock, is she Academy Award level acting? No, but you like her. And she does have emotion. She puts it out there everywhere she can. So she's genuine, I think is the word I'm actually trying to look for. She's genuine in who she is and what she does on screen. And if you give it a chance, I think everybody who hasn't seen this movie will like it. And if you've seen it, you probably already know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
She kicks butt and you will root for her.
You will.
Well, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, though, guys, because I've got 2 promises I have to keep. One to myself and one that I made up for you guys earlier, is I found a VHS tape last year called Let's Break, and it teaches you how to break dance. And I am sure that it was filmed in the exact same set as the beginning of this movie. When she accidentally shoots the kid, it looks exactly the same. And I just thought they could have used more breakdancing in that scene since I saw Let's Break first. But I loved that scene. And secondly, I found that audio of Tommy Wiseau, and I would like to play that for you all.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Who are you anyway?
My name's Rob Schulte from the LA Comic Con podcast.
Yeah, hi, this is Tommy Wiseau. Guys, we're right here in a big event. Hopefully you guys show up. Raul, what's the booth number? 609. Have fun. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And you said, sir.
Of course. I have to treat him with respect.
Yeah, that's that Midwestern, respect.
It comes
polite.
out.
Being
Exactly.
Absolutely. My wife makes fun of me because I say thank you to Siri.
Oh, that's fair. You got to.
I know where Rob's coming from. Plus, when the robots take over, they'll know I'm already somewhat complacent.
Exactly. They're smarter than me. Anyway, someone who's smarter than all of us put together is Rob Adler, who edits these episodes. We really appreciate everything he does for us.
Thank you, Rob.
You're listening to this, listener, via our Patreon site, and the more patrons we get, the more we're able to toss some of that over to Rob Adler. So tell your friends, get them on it. Maybe this is the episode that will convince them to join at patreon.com/BillAndRobs, where not only you get this, now you're going to start getting the pumpkin spice episode. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. But we need you listeners to, since you're already here, to tell the people that you know that would love our Patreon. So get there. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you, Rob Adler, for editing us. Visit Rob Adler's website, brooklynfrequency.com, to see more things he's worked on. And tell your friends and contact us online, because we don't have fans. We have friends. And Bill, I think you came up with that one. And so would you like to say goodbye?
I would, then echoing everything Rob said, thanks everybody. And if you have a Chrysler LeBaron convertible and you want to ride in a parade and don't tell anybody with a big sign that says BillandRobs.com on Patreon, then that would be awesome. Take a picture of it. We'll definitely put it out there. So thanks everybody, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye.